like this cover. Should be a lot of fun.
But what was interesting about the way that he thought of everything was he visualized things from the consumer's perspective and wanted to give people something unique. And so, like, when you went to his motel, an idea, a gimmick that he had was he built a motel room that was in the lobby, so you could walk in and look at an entire room before you decided to check in. Because back then you didn't have Yelp, you couldn't go on and see, you know, what the hotel looked like. And I remember, like, I'm old enough that I remember when I was a kid, my parents would go to a travel agent. Travel agent would give them an itinerary, tell them what hotel, you know, and they'd say, okay, we'll take this one. And we'd get to that hotel, and then we'd all have to sit in the car while my mom inspected the room and decided if it was good enough for us to stay in it. And like 90% of the time she was like, we're not staying here. Let's go to an equally bad motel down the road. And so Colonel Sanders had a room that you could look at. He also, his idea of franchising was very unique. He had this very successful restaurant, and one day they rerouted the highway. And, you know, when they used to do that, it really would like kill off an entire area, kill off a whole town. And they rerouted the highway. And so he said, well, I can't get people to come to my restaurant anymore. How am I going to get this chicken sold? So what he had was a unique method of cooking with a pressure cooker. And he had his 11 herbs and spices, which we're going to talk all about. I'll give you all 11 of them. And so he said, well, how about if I went to your restaurant, I brought you this pressure cooker, I showed you how to use it, and then once a week I brought you over the 11 herbs and spices. You could put chicken together, and you can advertise that, you know, Marshall's restaurant featuring Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. So you would put that on your sign. So he also came up with the brilliant marketing genius of being a colonel, like a Kentucky colonel. Now, this is an honorary title. They give it to about 2,000 people a year. I've met people that are Kentucky colonels. None of them dressed like this. He dyed his gray hair white. He dyed his beard white, and then started wearing all white. His other reason for wearing the white colonel suit, in addition to the branding and, you know, letting everybody see right off the bat that he was this Kentucky colonel that could be trusted with their lunch decision, but he also felt that having all white, that he would stay clean in the kitchen, and it would show, oh wow, this kitchen is clean enough that this man could wear this all white suit and it's not covered with like gravy stains and, like, you know, oil all over it. What's interesting though is the Kentucky Colonel title is just an honorary title. He received it twice. The first time he received it was because he was working as a midwife, and he had delivered 8 babies, and so the governor of Kentucky felt that this was a worthy enough reason for him to become a Kentucky colonel. The second time he received it was for his fried chicken restaurant. This is like the brochure from Dollywood, and it says, see Dollywood through Dolly's eyes. And listen to this. Dreams. As Dollywood's dreamer-in-chief, Dolly's essence, spirit, and inspiration are virtually everywhere in her theme park. We're excited for you to get to know Dolly by experiencing her dreams around every corner. Quote, in some ways, going through Dollywood is like a tour through my life, Dolly said, and I hope that it inspires and helps everyone who visits it with their own dreams. This is beautiful. Now, I'm going to skip ahead a Dolly fun fact. When Dollywood first opened, the master crafter in lye soap was Miss Della, who was one of Dolly's babysitters when she was a child. Over here it says, Granny Ogle's Ham and Beans. The mom of Dolly's best friend, Judy Ogle, is the inspiration for one of Dollywood's favorite eateries.
And we did eat there, so it's a family-style
At Ham and Beans?
No, at Aunt Granny's. It's the restaurant.
It's Granny Ogle's. It says Granny Ogle's Ham and Beans, though. Is the whole full restaurant name, I think, is Ham and Beans. At least, well, hold on. Let me check the map. I got the map here, so hold on. Let me see. I think we can find out. We can find out the answer. Oh man, whoa! I've never seen Dolly's like, hey, before you start getting on the rides, we got a lot of food here. All right, you're gonna need. All right, let's. We're almost time for Hanna-Barbera, but let's get another Dolly fact. Dolly's last tour bus is now retired to Dollywood's Dreammore Resort and Spa, where it's part of lodging operations since as Suite 1986. So so you can stay in her tour bus. That is amazing.
Isn't that movie 9 to 5?
Oh yeah, 9 to 5. That's her and Dabney Coleman. Have you seen the movie 9 to 5? Kath, I've got lots of recommendations for you. You need to go to Dollywood, but easier. You can probably get 9 to 5 on Netflix. So here's the plot of the movie. These women have a job, and they work from 9 to 5. Dolly sings all about
It's
that.
not like 9 to 8.
No, they don't have to work overtime. But they don't like their boss. Their boss is played by this guy Dabney Coleman, and it's Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and then who? Lily Tomlin. Okay, so it's these three ladies. They're working for their boss. He's very mean, so they come up with a plan to poison his coffee with rat poison. Right? They're gonna kill him. So this is the plot of the movie. It's very funny.
Don't get any ideas here.
Yeah, no, she's like, here's your coffee.
She also sings a song 9 to 5.
And then
I'm pretty sure my roommate loves that song.
it's a great song.
Good song, yeah.
That would be a good move though. Like you give me rat poison, I die right here on stage. You take over the panel. You're like,
Sing 9 to 5.
and like on the news they're like a hero jumped in to finish his panel about Hanna-Barbera land. All right. So big round of applause again. I appreciate you being here. All right, we're going to talk about Hanna-Barbera theme parks, all different stuff having to do with Hanna-Barbera. So Hanna-Barbera founded in 1957. You had William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. They were two friends, two animators who worked together to create Tom and Jerry for MGM. And Tom and Jerry was so successful that they said, well, we think we can do this ourselves, make our own studio. So they went over, they start their own studio. This is 1957. Right around this time, Walt Disney had put out a movie called Sleeping Beauty. Now, it's kind of interesting. Disney has a amazing way to give their movies this sheen where you always think that they were huge hits. Like all of their movies, we assume, were classics. And, Sleeping Beauty was a flop, was a colossal flop. Walt lost his shirt on this movie. And so it was one of the most expensive, I think it was the most expensive animated film. It was one of the most expensive films ever made at that point. And so the movie comes out, Walt loses a lot of money. He fires 1/3 of his animators. Right? Lays them all off. And what did they do? They went over and joined this brand new Hanna-Barbera. If it wasn't for the flop of Sleeping Beauty, Hanna-Barbera may have never taken off the way they did. But so they got this crop of just the best animators. And they all looked at what William Hanna and Joseph Barbera wanted to do, and they were like, that's it? We draw, that's how we draw, Top Cat? We don't have to, do all the shading and everything that they had to do on the Disney stuff. So they start this 1957. They had multiple shows. Huckleberry Hound was one of their first ones. Their very first one was a dog, Rough and Ready. It was the Rough and Ready show. And then Yogi Bear came out. Eventually the Flintstones, which was this prime time show, which we're going to talk about Fred Flintstone in panel tomorrow. The story behind the Flintstones is kind of fascinating. All right, look at that Hong Kong Phooey there with the family. I love also, this picture reminds me of when I was a kid. When you went to Disney, you didn't really line up to get a picture with a character. You just walk up and you'd get a picture. And sometimes your pictures would have other people's kids in them because you would all just run up and all the parents would just snap one picture. We didn't snap 150 like we do today. So you'd get one picture because, back then, you'd get a roll of film. I know this is impossible to believe. And you'd have 24 exposures. And so you'd go there and you'd one by one, your parent would take a picture, and they'd have to really, those pictures were valuable. They cost a lot to get printed, and you had a limited number of pictures on the roll of film, and you had to get them not printed, you had to get them developed. And you never knew if they were going to come out. I remember one time we were talking about handing a camera to somebody and asked them to take a picture. Yeah. I was getting a picture with Mr. T, actor with the mohawk. And I gave the camera to somebody else to take the picture. He took the picture. And picture is of me from here over, and then Mr. T from here on that way. So it's like both of us couldn't be more out of frame. It's like whoever was taking the picture was like, well, they won't know for 2 weeks, so screw them.
This is my picture.
That's right.
By the way, if you enjoy these videos, make sure and be like the Fonz. Give it a thumbs up. Or while you do, go, hey, and tell Popsy to sit on it.
here's a look at the entire floor. My booth is over here. We'll go over there next. And then over here is where wrestling's going to be tonight. A couple hours from bell time right now, but this is going to be a great show. The video game area. Look at this. We got Dance Dance Revolution. And here is my table. I love these banners. I'm next to Lisa Correa. You've probably seen her in the videos before. Also next to MC Chris. And a lot of other people. They're kind of emptying out. The floor is closing up. I am on my way over to do some commentary for FSCW Wrestling. So let's go there right now.
Are we seeing a new power couple form here in the FSCW?
Trunchbull is down on one knee, has proposed to Hagrid.
I do!
What? Oh no! Oh no!
Here's your winner, Trunchbull!
I really thought there was magic in the air tonight. Boy, I don't look at
Miles.
this. The Spider-Verse comes out on top. Raleigh, what do you say makes you noise for the Spider-Verse? Come on, let's hear it.
This crowd loving the Spider-Verse. Skeletor. Evil Lynn's just dragging him out of the ring. Got Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph against Teen Titans. We got Beast Boy and Raven. Wow, I'm impressed.
Very evenly matched and evenly flexible. Okay. Oh.
Here comes the big man.
She's glitching. I think Vanellope's glitching. She's not good.
Garfield has lost his head.
Oh no! Oh no! The magic has been unveiled.
Careful, Garfield.
Oh, this is the last 3 episodes.
All right. Another night of wrestling over. Day 1 is finished. Tomorrow, got some other stuff, and then we'll have day 2. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Right now, 2 boxes are going to pop up. On this side is going to be when I was in Austin, Texas. I ended up, after going to a Waffle House, I went over to a wrestling match, ended up wearing Leva Bates' mustache. So you want to check that out. And then popping up on this side will be a video that YouTube says is best for you. So who knows you better, me or YouTube? Doesn't matter to me. Choose a box. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock.